Hello, I'm Dr. Mahua Bhattacharjee. So today we will be continuing with the we will be doing the monopsonistic labor market and monopolistic product market. They are interacting with each other and how the exploitation is more in this case rather than in the monopolistic product market. So in this case, what is happening? There is a the labor market has united themselves to be one, and it might be due to the skills, it might be due to the training, or it might be also due to the unions, or due to any reasons they are the one buyers. They have become a one buyer asset. And in the product market there is a monopoly, so there is a one seller of the product whatever they are producing. So wherever the factor has been utilized. So in this case the producer the laborers get exploited also. So how it is to be shown. So in this case we have to know something on what is total expense. In this case we have to understand what is marginal expenses. The marginal expenditure is nothing but the additional expenditure which occurs for the employment of the additional labor. So this is called the marginal expenses. So what is first of all, if we find what is total expenses is nothing but the wage into labor, and marginal expense, if we see dt d by dl, and by differentiation we get w plus l dw dl. T is w into l. By the product rule we can find out this. And to find out the slope of the marginal expense, we find that it is 2 dwl plus l dw. So it is the slope of dwl, twice of dwl is the marginal expense slope. And the slope of the marginal expense is something which goes from left towards the right, and it is sloping upward. So why it is happening? And we find that the supply curve is also going upward with a coinciding with the marginal expense curve, but it goes below the supply curve. This is because in this because they are the single factor market. If you need to employ one more labor, you need to pay more, and you need to pay more not only to that additional labor but also to the other labors also, because with the increase in the labor and the increase in the requirement of the labor, the wages to be paid to the additional labor also goes on increasing, because it is understood that they are one in this whole labor market, and so that's why the wages to be paid has also to be increased with the increase in the employment. Now in this condition, as we understand, this is about the marginal expense curve, and this is our MRPL curve. As usual, the MRPL curve will not change its shape. It is the demand curve of the labor and will slope always downward. So at this point it will be sloping downward, and at this point and it will be interacting at the point E. So at this intersection we will find that OL is the equilibrium amount of employment, and the SL is something which is determining the equilibrium wages. So in this case what is happening? We find that this is something which is the equilibrium quantity of the payment, or equilibrium payment which needed to be paid, but this is something which is actually paid, because the SL curve is the something which is representing. We know that SL is something which is representing the cost, or something which is the price which is paid to the factor. So in that case, this SL curve, the point at which the marginal expense is intersecting the marginal revenue productivity curve, we are only getting the equilibrium point on that point, but we are not getting, the wages are not paid at that point. The wages, the determination of the wages is explained by the supply curve of the labor. This is that because you know that marginal revenue and average revenue. Suppose if you take into consideration the market is easiest something to compare. So that's why I'm talking to you that the marginal revenue gives you the equilibrium and the average revenue gives you the price. So in the same way, in the factor market, the supply curve will be telling you the cost, or the price. Supply curve will be telling you the wages which the factors in which the factors will be paid, and marginal expenses equals to MRPL curve will be telling you the equilibrium in which the factor market will be employed. So OL is the equilibrium quantity of the labor which will be employed, and EL is something which is the marginal expenses, and LT is something which is the wages, or OW is the wages which is paid, and so this is considered as to be the exploitation once again. But this is something which is called as a monopsonistic exploitation. So this is something which I wanted to talk regarding the exploitation of the labor, both in the monopolistic and the monopsonistic exploitation. And this is something which was very strongly been utilized, and it has been determined by the marginal expenses and the supply curve of labor. That's all. We will be taking again the next topic on the which will be extension of this monopsonistic exploitation. Thank you.